Here we are, the day after, the night before. I took him out.
I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday.
I took him out on the town and we went and we had a hot date.
Yeah. We went to see the Odyssey.
We went to see the Odyssey. And I got a plus one.
Yeah.
And often I don't bring Neil to my plus ones.
Yeah.
You know, not that, that sounds worse than I meant. What I mean is, I have many people for whom a plus one would be a delightful, scenario to find themselves
It's not
in.
any better.
Okay. My son, for example, loves a big epic movie. I have a mate called David, and he and I go to a lot of these kind of movies together over the years.
Yeah.
When my dad was around, I used to bring him the odd time. But this one just struck me as one I should bring Neil to, and I invited him on the podcast, and he agreed.
Yeah.
And we met in town. And we went in and we were with the great and the good.
We were. Now, so we went to see the Odyssey, or Goodwill Boating, as I've started to call it from here on in. First of all, brilliant, right?
Like, utterly brilliant. And what's amazing is I'm so grateful. This podcast won't be going out the day we're doing this, I don't think.
No.
But I signed an NDA on the way in, which meant that on my radio show this morning, I couldn't talk about what I thought of the movie. I could talk about going to the movie with Neil Delamere, which I did.
Okay.
I could talk about sitting next to Ian Dempsey, which I did. But I couldn't talk about what I thought of the movie. Whereas here, I can verbally express my adoration of this.
Undying admiration of Christopher Nolan.
Listen.
For people who don't know, NDA is Neil Delamere allows. And that's, I will allow you to talk about various things if you sign the correct paperwork or not. Non-disclosure agreement. How long is it embargoed? I love saying that. How long is it embargoed for?
It is embargoed for another 2 hours and 56 minutes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so by the time this comes out, everyone will have reviewed.
Will have seen it.
So
Okay.
yeah. So it's not a big deal. But
First of all, it's brilliant. That's the first thing we should say.
Utterly amazing.
I mean, I did feel, I'm not giving anything away, okay? It's about Odysseus trying to get home, okay? Well, I think we know that, right? I did think that the Cyclops in it looked a little bit like Pierluigi Collina. Do you remember the Italian referee? There's a hint of that, isn't there?
I never really thought he was the first mythical creature to come into the thing.
Be careful, we can't say too much.
No, but I mean, but people look. It's not like a 2,500-year-old story isn't well known, but at the same time,
spoiler alert. Yeah, but loads of people don't know the
exactly
end or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I would listen. Yeah. I would never give away a spoiler to anything. But certainly there are mythical creatures in this story. It's an ancient Greek epic. These things, like, they're full of those kinds of, and it's all symbolism, and anyway. I guess it was.
But who else in the modern era? This is what I think about Christopher Nolan. What I love about Christopher Nolan, right? So we're going to praise the film because we both loved it. Is who else could make you sit there for 3 hours with no phone and not checking your phone? Almost nobody else.
Peter Jackson.
Okay, not just you.
Andy Serkis.
Everybody else.
Nolan has. Look, he's got a history of doing that.
How do you do that? Like, so this is so what you have to do. There is you have to make a film. This might be an idiotic question. I'm going to preface it with that.
Sure.
Therefore, I know it definitely
I love it already. Yeah.
You have to have the skill to. I think that's a great exercise in empathy, because you have to have the skill to go. Him and editors, they always praise their editors.
Sure.
That you have to go. They'll find that boring. I need to come out of that earlier, or that's the bit they'll find exciting, or that's the bit. I just think that's remarkable that people still have that skill,
particularly in an era of society currently where attention spans have been naturally shortened because of the advent of phones and
it'll be 3 hours. It'll be the guts of 3 hours, and that's it. So let's talk about who's there, by the way. Well, no, the way I would do this now.
Okay,
I'd like to rate it. So you were joking about you brought me out on a date.
Yeah.
I think we should rate this. I was thinking about this last night as whether it would be if I was inclined to a men of your persuasion.
Sure.
And you were inclined to men of my persuasion.
Would this have been a good date?
Would this have been a good date? So number one, I don't go to many movie premieres.
No.
Okay, I've been to a handful. The one I did before that was Hamnet.
Oh, yes.
And Hamnet was full of the great and the good.
Okay.
I was sitting beside Rosie O'Donnell.
Okay, well.
She was a very glamorous woman.
Yeah.
Deirdre Kane was at it, very glamorous. A lot of very glamorous people who'd made a huge amount of effort. And it was in the Lighthouse, and it was a bit later at night.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal, and there was
photographers
and red carpet and all the rest.
Yeah.
I texted you yesterday. And said, is this one of these red carpets, photographers, and you turned up What I like about this is the commitment to the bit, the commitment to the brand is epic. Yeah. This is not pretense. This is, I am wearing a red hoodie and a baseball cap.
That's what I said to him on text.
No one is going to make me change that.
No.
So, in terms of effort made for the date, zero. Right? But on the other side of that, authenticity.
Yeah, you would know, God, he really is a man of his word.
Yeah. I think if I was 17, I'd be like, he made no effort for me. But
at 27, you'd be like, no, he said he'd make no effort, and he made no effort.
And when you're 45, you're like, that man knows who he is. Yeah.
Okay. I will say, I think had I considered we would rate this in the way we're rating it, I may have offered, for example, to bring you in maybe, I don't know, an hour and a half earlier.
There was no corsage.
No corsage, but also I didn't feed you.
There was no corsage. There was I didn't get to wear your varsity jacket.
No, it was on the way afterwards. Drape it over your shoulders. Yeah.
I had to clean his pop socks. Yeah. I thought we were going to go to the levee in your old Chevy. All that sort of stuff. Okay, so not great there.
No, not great there. I did, and I will say a couple of things. Right.
Okay.
I did dress down. Okay.
Dress down deliberately?
No. What I mean is okay. in the way I do. I was dressed normally, I guess, for me.
Okay.
But in the general sense,
I'd love to see you dressed down.
Yeah, because you
dressed down is like, that Robbie Williams video where he takes off his own skin?
Yeah.
Rock
DJ. Yeah. Yes. You had a lovely shirt on, a pair of pants. I think you looked really handsome.
I thought trousers.
Was
the minimum I could do.
No. And whereas I think I did make a slight effort in that I didn't wear shorts. Now that wasn't out of deference to you or the occasion.
Yeah.
That was because traditionally in a cinema, it's quite nippy. So often if I rock up here in a pair of long pants, it's either I don't like the angle where people are looking up my shorts or I've been to the cinema because it's traditionally quite cold in there. That was not the case last night.
It was
because I had
roasting.
Neil to the right of me and Mayor Carcetti from The Wire to the left of me.
I was going to get to this.
Yeah. And at one point I brushed against Neil. Now Neil was wearing a long sleeved shirt, so it was I'm not joking you, wet arm against his clothed, presumably wet arm. And then about 20 minutes later, I moved my elbow and I touched arms with Aidan Gillen, aka Mayor Carcetti from The Wire.
Yeah.
He was wearing a really cool black on
Barcelona jersey.
Barcelona away shirt.
Yeah.
And I hate Barcelona, so that was pretty big for me to say. And we touched elbows and both of us were dripping.
And recoiled.
Well, no, we didn't.
I think in some cultures you're married now.
Yeah. So
he's from Drumcondra. I think pretty much you have to move in.
Possibly
move in with him now.
Yeah.
He's only around the corner.
Well, we're getting children's allowance now.
I love the way that's what you joke to. He didn't go to, we're in love now, we have to go on a honeymoon, we are betrothed forever, we have to split our income, we have to jump over a broom, none of that sort of stuff. He's my ride or die. I get Mickey money. I get Mickey money from him. If you're an international listener, Mickey money is what people used to call children's allowance. I think they do still now. You're playing a rough town sometimes when I remember doing a gig. I'm not going to name where it was. It was in County Louth. That's all I'll say. It doesn't exist anymore. Right. County Louth does, but this place doesn't. And it was a gig, and it used to be on a weird. It wasn't on a weekend night. It was on a Monday night or something like this. And I was like, "Why Monday?" And it's like Mickey Money Day.
Mickey Money Day. That's the day they had the money to go out and buy tickets for a gig.
Yeah. So if at this point, this is a long time ago, right? So if you were now maybe 20, okay, and you felt that your parents didn't bring you up, maybe you felt hungry during your childhood. Let it be known that I have the money that your parents should have spent once a month.
You and the barman.
Every so often, Mickey money.
So Aidan was there. That was great because, look, he is one of the finest actors around. So to see him there. Siobhan McSweeney was in the front row. I saw a lot of radio stars, a lot of TV stars. As we mentioned, Ian Dempsey, called people from Today FM, from different radio stations were around. A couple of bloggers. Yeah. Those kinds of people.
So, see, now, there's where you get some points, okay?
So I brought you to a thing where there are famouser people than me.
Okay, so 0 points in terms of outfit.
Outfit, yeah.
But authentic. Right, then, people watching. See, people watching, and then the idea that you have a degree of status that you're going to this amongst these people, okay? And by that, I mean Siobhan McSweeney, presents Traders, and obviously Derry Girls. Aidan Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. And also Maria Doyle Kennedy.
Oh, Maria Doyle Kennedy
who's
was there, yes.
in kin with...
in The Commitments.
With him. Now, you see, this is it. If you had told me when I was watching The Commitments in 1990, 1991 that I was with the backing singer of the band.
Yeah.
I mean, major cool points there.
Okay.
And extra cool points. She, I think... We're not giving anything away. It's a public place. She was speaking... I didn't know she could speak Irish. She was speaking Irish to somebody she was with. I love to hear Irish out in the wild.
Okay,
absolutely love it.
Right, okay. So that's points for that.
So basically, if the guards ever find me in the hedge in St. Pat's in Drumcondra in the teacher training college, I'm just trying to listen to Irish in the wild.
That's it.
That's all
That's
it
all
is.
he's doing.
That's the only reason.
He's doing.
So that very, very good, right? But on the other side of that, free ticket. So you didn't spend any money on it.
I didn't spend... No, okay,
so, right,
okay.
So you're down again.
Okay, every time it's one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah.
Okay, then in terms of... it is one step back because I didn't bring you out to dinner, but I did guarantee you...
A Christopher Nolan film.
No. Some class of on-seat food.
Yeah.
So I told you that usually when we go into these premieres, there's a box of popcorn, some kind of a treat, and a drink. And I delivered.
You did deliver, and we got there early, and we got good seats.
Yeah,
and I mean, it was inadvisable for them to have let me in a room with 250 bars of chocolate. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Tony's Chocolate Lonely was not lonely once Neil got in there. He was delighted.
So that was pretty good. Yeah,
now, I did. Then I went out to the bathroom.
Yeah,
leaving you alone briefly, which I presume is a bit of a negative. Like,
people have needs. I think that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I don't date very often, so I don't know what's good about.
You haven't dated in
since the year 2000.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
and you were married 3 years at that point.
Then I offered you a drink, which you refused because there was a bottle of water in our kind of free food.
Yeah.
And then in that way that, you know, the way you always know you like your car when you park it somewhere, you bip it and you walk away, but you look back, right? So I was walking out and I just glanced back and Neil went, actually, I will have a Diet Coke. And I went, I'm so glad I looked back.
No, you know what that moment was?
Yeah.
That moment was, can I trust him not to roofie the drink?
Well, I brought you back a sealed can. So unless I was hypodermically needling...
Well, I'd read a little bit about the Odyssey, and I know that he was kind of, at some point, out of his mind. Yeah. And I was like, he was putting lotus flowers in my Coke out. That's what he's doing out there.
So I brought you back a Coke Zero.
So that was good, yeah.
That was good.
I very much enjoyed that. Now, on the bad side of it, on the negative side, no action.
No, other than the wet arm on the dry sleeve.
Which, how did you know that was my thing? You didn't drop the hand.
Didn't drop the hand.
You didn't even do the yawny and put the hand over.
Yeah, I'll admit I was distracted by the fact that,
like, I had cut out the bottom of my popcorn. You know, and I was holding on my laugh. Like
the saltiness of what that would do to you.
Can you imagine if you put your hand in there expecting to find popcorn, you found the other things? Oh, it would be horrendous.
I didn't do. Yeah, there was no action. I didn't progress that. Yeah. I also felt like, as a person of profile, me, you know, I think it would be perhaps inappropriate in a situation like this to advance physically upon anyone.
Yeah.
You know, given that there were, well, certainly in this situation, as dark as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was aware that Mayor Carcetti was beside me. I'm sure he was aware that Dave Moore was beside him.
Do you think?
No, not at all.
Do you think Aidan Gillen is aware of your existence on Earth?
I have interviewed him once. And he was a delight.
He's
earnest.
He's good crack.
He's earnest.
He's a good actor.
He means business.
Yeah.
So I guess he, by default, would have to be aware of my existence if he had to rack his brain that he did an interview with some guy.
He would do a lot of interviews.
He would. I'll put it this way. He stood up, he walked in beside, to where I was sitting. And knowing that it was Aidan Gillen, I gave a kind of a cursory glance up, hoping a catch of an eye. And you might, even if he didn't remember him, he might get just might get a, how are you?
Yeah.
And he completely airballed me, blanked utterly, had no interest in making any eye contact, sat down and enjoyed the movie with his friend.
Yeah, but I mean, there could be
not
myriad reasons.
Not
for
in
that.
a rude way.
No.
Just simply where I was looking for.
But you were the puppy begging for a scrap of attention, and he ate the last bit of the rasher.
And how did that make you feel as my date? Or were you aware of my infidelity?
I am barely aware of your existence. Never mind. You're the person between me and Aidan Gillen. That's okay, I can come clean here. I knew Aidan Gillen was going to that thing,
right?
And I've engineered this entire podcast 4 years ago to sit beside that man there. I'm going to fight Camila Sullivan because they're a couple. I'm going to fight him, channeling his kin character.
Right.
No, it was really good. And what I found, it's a great film to go to.
No, can I just say as well?
And because I said yes before, I don't know when you realised that we were going to miss the semi-final of the World
Cup. I copped onto that a couple of weeks back when the original invitation came through.
Yeah.
And I went, that's a World Cup game night. And I checked my wall chart and I went, that's the semi-final.
You have a wall chart?
Yeah, my wall chart.
Do you have a Panini sticker?
No, my kids made it. My daughters made it.
They made a
wall chart with dates and everything.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, they're brilliant. Yeah. So I double checked and I went, oh no, that's a. And in my head, I jokingly said, sure, that could be France Spain.
Yeah.
Not thinking it was going to be France Spain.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it was France Spain. Yeah. So we missed that. Now we did. The movie ended. Oh, I should say.
Yeah.
We had to sheathe our devices.
We did have the
which was a new thing for Neil, I think. It wasn't a new thing for me. I've gone to a lot of these things where you're given a plastic envelope.
You sound like you're describing a prophylactic.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you must take out your stiff device, insert it into the sheath, and seal it. Yeah. So you've basically put your phone away.
Yeah.
Now, not everybody does, but you're supposed to. And the reason is obviously you're not. You can't film anything.
Yeah, of course.
I go to a lot of movies with NDAs where this one was an NDA for less than 24 hours later. Sometimes your NDAs could be months in advance.
Really?
Yeah. So
do you often go to films on your own then when you're doing those things?
Always.
You must really enjoy that. I mean, it feels a little bit like Howard Hughes and you're having some sort of mental breakdown.
No.
Do you block the door and just sit there in a vest with massive nails, just rocking back and forth?
I walk in. Usually I know the security guard from this exact scenario.
Where do you sit?
I sit smack bang, almost where we sat.
Yeah.
I sit smack bang in the middle
of
both the middle, let's call it horizontally and vertically.
Yes.
Often I've found myself solo in IMAX, where there are 300 seats and there's me, my nachos, and my Coke Zero, and I am ready to watch whatever it is and going, my life is ridiculous.
And did you feel like that all these people were there?
There was a bit of that. It was very warm. You see, that's why I wear the tracksuits at those screenings, because the air conditioning is working for a room of 300 people. There's only me in it, so it's quite cool. Whereas this was like,
why don't you just sit and check every seat out individually for films?
Oh, like the guy who parked in did you hear about the guy who parked in Sainsbury's?
No, and he parked in every single...
So there's 280 spots and it took him 6 years, but he parked in every spot and rated it.
Why?
And did a whole... Because he's a genius.
Yeah, right.
And he did a whole...
Which is the best...
Which is the best spot. And he rated them like, proximity obviously was one thing, but then also like door bangability, wind, potential for a trolley to bang against you. Like he rated them.
Was he married?
Possibly not anymore.
Was he married? Yeah. I mean, he was at the start.
He was, yeah. But I think I had him on the show. Like he was on radio or like he just is amazing guy in England did this.
That is, I would say, a quintessentially British thing to do.
Probably.
They have a level of eccentric there. We have a level of eccentric here who a fellow will pop up from behind the dolmen and go, the fairies have told me that you'll never get planning permission for the house. That sort of level of... But those guys are, I am going to study. Where is the best place to park in all of Salisbury?
And I'll do an Excel sheet.
I'll do an Excel
publish
spreadsheet.
my data.
Yeah. I'm a data king. Why am I so alone? But I love how committed they are to that. Now, I would suggest that if you were married, there's not a woman in the world who would allow you to do that. I
think he was married.
Unless you're putting in some serious shifts around the house and doing what you should be doing. Because if you said to a partner, I can only speak to my own wife, but men and women, I think. And you said, I can't do X, Y, and Z because I have to go to Sainsbury's to check out.
Okay, so you're making one
number
fatal,
61.
You're missing one fatal
Unless
error
she's
here.
doing the same for
Asda.
Asda.
No, you're missing one fatal error.
Okay.
He's doing the big shop. This isn't a going every day. This is I'm doing it when I go shopping, but I'm not parking in the same spot twice.
But is he sitting there? Why did it take you 4 hours to do the shop that only lasts half an hour? Because I was waiting for
well, obviously
Space 63 to come available.
But he had them all aerial photographed. He had them all numbered. So he knew when he drove in, okay, and he could check his reference and go, I've parked there, I haven't parked over there, and he'd park over there.
Did he park in all the spots facing the same way?
That is a level of detail of the data I do not have.
Because if that was me, I would park in all this. I would drive into all of the spots.
Right.
Except I would reverse into 69.
And this is why I didn't drop the hand. Exactly
I'm such a child.
Yes, you are.
I thought that at one point before the film started, because you did have me there way too early.
Oh, so early.
I mean, you had me there the way elderly parents go to the airport.
Yeah.
So I go to the airport, I fly too much, and if a flight's at 7 o'clock, I will leave here maybe half 5.
Okay.
Right, because it's 50 minutes.
There's a thing right now on social media where people, it's called, it's not called the airport challenge. It's called something like that.
It's how close you can do it.
Where people go, my flight is at 7 o'clock. I'm leaving here at 10 to 7. No. And they're like, okay, I've parked up. It's 7:05. I've missed my boarding thing, but I'm still going to go. Like the flight say, well, the boarding's at 7.
I'm not familiar with that.
No, it's a whole thing.
That is a level of stress.
And to be honest with you, most of them get on the flight.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's I think you're taking a piss a bit there.
A little bit. Sorry. So, but I got you there like Dad taking the family on the big holiday.
Yeah.
We're in the airport 6.5 hours beforehand.
Yeah, my father used to do this. We used to go to, like, we were going to Killarney, right? Now, Killarney's about 170 miles from Edenderry, where I'm from, right? About that, I'd say. And in those days, it might have been 4 hours. He made out like we were going on the Paris-Dakar rally.
Yeah.
And there was stuff tied to the roof of the car.
Yeah, pack the provisions.
There was Sherpas were employed to help us around a dare.
In fact, not dissimilar to some of the efforts made by the characters in the Odyssey.
Yeah.
When they would call on a location and go, we need food and provisions.
My dad knew various different people around. It was one of the... that film was a cross between Goodwill Boating and some sort of like the longest walk of shame possibly ever, or the weirdest P&O cruise that I've ever seen.
It was a weird cruise.
It would make me want to go around the Mediterranean and go to all the places, because there was one
Greece,
bit,
Malta.
Yeah, there was one bit that I don't want to give too much away. If you go to that place in the Med, they go, that bit of water there is where the thing is meant to have happened. So they are associated with different places around the Med.
Yeah. I think we should stick with the movie for a second and wrap this up with this one thing.
Okay.
Rate the movie, okay? So you've rated My Date, and I don't think I've done very well, to be honest with you.
No. You see, you've a degree of allure to you now, you see.
Oh.
So I would go for a second date. Yeah.
Well, that's success.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Which is the only metric that matters.
It ultimately is the only metric that matters.
Yeah, but mainly because after the date, despite everything, I peed in a steak and it turned blue.
Mickey money it is. Tell me this. How would you rate the movie? How many?
I loved it.
Neil Delamere. You know, if you were to do a column in Loaded magazine, and it would be Neil's movie reviews, and then at the end it would have Neil like obviously we're on podcast for most people, but like kind of like a face, like thumbs up. Okay. Anyway, rate the movie. How many heads? I mean, five is a masterpiece. 5 is the best thing that's ever been created.
4.5.
I'm right with you.
4.5.
I will watch this time and time again.
The scenes where there are people know there's fights. The level of tension and the level of music and the level of mother of God, I was...
And obviously having Instagram that I was going to the Odyssey, my algorithms are now full of Odyssey content.
Okay.
An amazing story from Matt Damon was...
Tell it in the second one.
In the second one? Okay, let's do it in the second one. Right.
Okay.
End of this bonus one. See you next time for a bonus.